Mm-hmm.
So women don't have it great either.
Yep.
So in greater numbers, they start leaving the home. They're getting degrees and they're chasing careers, they're chasing promotions, which ultimately winds up that, as Michael Knowles says, they just wind up going to work in a widget factory for Mr. McGillicuddy, and they're not doing anything really fulfilling. And the women that are doing it because they have a passion for it and not because they're just getting paid and chasing a career.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are some truly wonderful nurses out there, and I
Oh, we
guarantee
need
you
them.
that you are overworked and underpaid if you're a nurse.
But when I look at it, a woman being a good nurse, I don't look at that image of worldly ideals influencing them in all of the bad ways,
Women also make
like I
good
do with
nurses
men.
because they're designed to be mothers, and all of the qualities that make somebody a good mother are what you want in your nurse.
There you go. But when you talk about women just wholesale going into the workforce because, well, I need to, for whatever reason, like I need to pull my own weight too.
And by the workforce, we mean they just start going into offices, which means ultimately they just wind up occupying HR departments.
Mm-hmm. And I guess at the core of what I'm saying, for reasons that are not fundamentally about what is best for their family. Like maybe it is.
Yeah,
If you need the money, you need the money. Like you got to do
maybe it is.
something.
Like
But
if
if you,
if it's an absolute necessity, but most of the time you can live on one income.
yeah, is it for the flourishing of the family, or is it for the flourishing of the family according to the faulty worldly ideals that we talk about?
Yeah.
Are you
Is it
working so
this
the
this
family can be
idea that
brought
we need to
together and
have?
fed?
Is it the
Or you,
idea that we need to have certain things?
so it turns out Disneyland is not a right.
Or is it this idea that, well, women are equal to men, so they should just be able to do all the same things that men do?
Yeah.
Or which really is what it is for like the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. So, also as a part of this, modesty just sort of gets tossed out the window.
Mm-hmm.
People pretend that uh, the skimpy outfits of like the late 60s to the 2000s that women are wearing on television is some like misogynistic imposition on women, that men are forcing women to dress like that on television just so they can have some sort of pleasure in it. But that actually came about because women wanted to do that. They wanted to throw off the previous conventions, and that, at least for the last part of that in the 80s and 90s, that they decided that, oh, I should be able to dress however I want. And a lot of women are like this now. I should be able to dress however I want, and everything else is entirely on you.
Hmm.
Because like the lack of modesty is, and this goes back to some of the earliest days of feminism as well. Like they had in the 1890s, they had bloomers marches. You know what a bloomer march is?
No, but last time I asked a question like that, I've got an answer I didn't want. So,
Women would march down the street with signs and chants and whatever, and instead of wearing skirts, they just wore their bloomers, which was their underwear at the time. So it's nothing new, but like the degree the degree to which women are wearing less and less clothes to make these points just sort of gets lower and lower over time, to the
yeah.
point where by like the 80s we have topless marches happening.
And to what points?
I don't know.
like like how do you like forget what you forget what you know of modern modesty or the lack thereof? Just and everything that's preceded that, just come from the perspective of a normal human being and assess that situation. What's your reaction after the first 2 seconds? Why? That's the one word reaction, and it never need be elaborated on because there's no reason. There's nothing inspiring about that.
So these ideas also get passed down from from mother to daughter. uh so, and we see this nowadays too, where daughters go to the store and they buy a skimpy outfit, and then a dad's first instinct is, no, my daughter's not going to wear that. But then moms start chiming in and they start speaking up, and they basically just shut the dads down and saying she can wear what she wants. She has the right to wear what she wants. Mostly that's just because the moms never had the opportunity to wear that when they were young. So they want their daughters to be able to do that.
Well, whether it's those
Or they've
principles
just
or
decided
whether
that, oh, she looks fine to me. And the dad is thinking, yeah, I know what a 16-year-old boy is going to be thinking when looking at her.
one of the beautiful things about women is that they like harmony. But one of the downsides about women is that they also like harmony. And you could say
Yeah.
1,000 things about this for men and women alike. So if if it's not feminist motives or whatever, it could very easily just be all the other kids at school are wearing it, and I don't want my daughter to look like the weird one.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
and I
it's
don't
the
have the man's
style.
brain, so I can't see why he thinks that.
And men
You
don't
know,
care. Men don't care what the style is. The only thing we care about when we leave the house is whether or not we're wearing pants.
but when it comes to assessing other people, we are visual creatures.
Yes.
So
Like, I realized that really quick when I started college. I grew up with one brother, not a lot of interaction with women or girls. Then when I started college and I hear a lot of the women complain about what it takes for them to get ready in the morning with their hair and their makeup and their clothes, and I'm over there going, I just want to make sure I'm wearing pants. That's
yeah.
kind of all I got. That's kind of all I do.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so feminism has also made women believe that because they're equal to men, they need to behave like their perception of men. Well, men are loud and crude and pushy, so I need to be louder and cruder and pushier. And to do a similar comparison like we did with men, so at least the image that we see of women in like the 50s and the 60s, they're calm, rational, they keep an even keel, and they help keep the family on an even keel. But by the 80s and 90s and 2000s, they're passive aggressive and are always right, which we do see that kind of start in the 50s and 60s, but it's way more obvious in the last couple decades of that century, because it's like mom can never do anything wrong, never does or says anything wrong, and dad is always wrong, and the wife is always right.
You know, there's a great song I heard called "Mother Knows Best." Oh wait, that's a villain song.
Oh wait, that's supposed to be toxic, right?
Yeah.
That's that's a villain song from a Disney movie,
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the reasons that we like that. My family, my wife and I like Tangled, in particular, because of how the villain is done. But
They do a
another
great job. Tangled is awesome, but yeah.
yeah, another story for another time.